Hello, my name is Carolyn, and I'm a chef here on Long Island, and today I'm going to show you how to make mac and cheese egg rolls and barbecue chicken egg rolls, along with our Southern peach cobbler. All right, so we're going to be working on our cobbler. It's nothing like a good Southern dessert. So we have our powder. We're going to start with we must have our whisk, our bowl, we have our powder, and we're going to start with our milk. Pour it in. Now you want to keep stirring. You don't want it to be too loose, so you want to put not as much milk in here, but you want to keep stirring until it looks like a cake. Go. And now we're going to add in our sugar. I think that's good enough. We have our brown sugar. Now I put more brown sugar than I did the white sugar. The brown sugar gives it a really great taste. We have cinnamon. Now you can put this as much cinnamon as you want. I tend to think that cinnamon and nutmeg, it has a strong taste, so we don't want to put too much of it in there. So guys, I want to tell you, this peach cobbler is a favorite for me. When I was growing up, my mom used to send me to my grandmother's and my aunt's house during the summer, and they were phenomenal cooks. And one of the specialties that my aunt had was apple pies and peach cobbler. Peach cobbler happens to be my favorite. So yes, we definitely have to work this in. I'm glad to share this recipe with you. So we have, again, our mix, we have our nutmeg, we have our cinnamon, and we have our milk in here. So now we're going to pour in our melted butter. It's nothing like having some butter in your mix. It's sweet, and yes, it has a buttery taste. You want that crust to have that sweet buttery taste. All right, so it's well mixed. Again, we don't worry about it looking like cake, because once we put the peaches in, it's going to even out. All right, so we're going to take this whisk out of here, pour our breading here. Crust in here, and we're going to spread this sucker out. Okay, we're going to spread it out. All right, it's nice and spread out. Let's get this over here. Looks better on there. All right, and now we're going to take our peaches, pour it in. Spread those out. Now you see how it's loosening up? So again, you don't have to worry about it being stiff, because the juice from the peaches will loosen it up. We want to mix that in. Mix the peaches in. And then we want to pour in our vanilla. We just mix it in there. Get that taste all in there, the sweetenings in here. All right, so that's it. We mixed our peach cobbler, and now we're about to put it in the oven, and we're gonna bake this peach cobbler. All right, so we wanna work on our egg rolls. We're doing mac and cheese egg rolls, and we're doing barbecue chicken egg rolls. Yum. All right, so let's season up our chicken, but before we do that, let's start our sauce. Our sauce, actually, we want to get that going because we will have the sauce after we finish our egg rolls. All right, so I just put in heavy cream and I just put in milk, and we're going to put our cheese in here. Use a spoon, get our cheese in there. This is Velveeta cheese. You can use any kind of cheese, but I prefer Velveeta. And so we have our sauce going. So now let's start on our chicken. We have to get our chicken going. We're gonna start seasoning. We have our seasoning salt here. Just spread it all over. And we have onion powder. We have our pepper. And we have minced garlic. I love garlic. Can't have enough. Garlic powder. There you go. And now we just want to spread it all on the chicken, get it all throughout the chicken. And once we do that, then we want to put it in our pan. Let's move the plate over here. So now we have our chicken in frying pan. So while that's going, now we're not going to cook it fully. We just want to brown it. All right, so we're browning out our chicken. And like I said, we don't want to fry it all the way through, but we're going to brown it on both sides. And then once this is done, we're going to stick this in the oven and let it cook some more. All right. All right, y'all, so we're finishing up, we're browning up our chicken, and we're gonna take it out, and we're gonna put it on a sheet tray and put it in the oven, and we're gonna let it finish cooking in the oven. That way, your chicken will be juicy and not dry. And we're going to turn the stove off. No, actually, let's turn it down because we're going to need this again. All right. So now let's put this in the oven. All right, so our chicken is in the oven. I wrapped it up because we want to make sure that it keeps this moisture. And so now we're going to start on our mac and cheese egg rolls while our chicken is cooking in the oven. And so we have our macaroni and cheese. And we have our egg roll wraps. Now listen, you can get these egg roll wraps anywhere. You can get them from any local supermarket. They're easy to find. Let me put this over here. So now before you do anything with the egg rolls, you want to wet them with water. so it'll be easy for you to wrap them up. And so let's just make sure it's completely wet, each one. And we have our mac and cheese over here. Now, I like to, you could actually make the mac and cheese egg rolls with the mac and cheese being hot, but I prefer for it to be cold, so it's easier to wrap. Okay, let's do this, and then we'll get our mac and cheese on here. And before we start this, let us stir up our sauce while the cheese is melting. All right, so let's get our mac and cheese. Now you see how firm it is, so you can easily put the mac and cheese on here. It's not runny. That's why I prefer it for it to be cold. You don't have to worry about it running all over the place and breaking up your egg roll. And so we do it like this. All right, so we're getting our mac and cheese on here, and we're shaping it. All right, and so now we want to use our cheese. This is Monterey Jack, so we want to put that on there. Now, when I tell you this is absolutely delicious, you're gonna love this. You're going to love this. This is great to serve, like if you have any type of party and you want to serve it like for hors d'oeuvres, you can definitely do this recipe. All right, so we're going to fold it. All right, so we're going to make a triangle, and you're going to fold it up, another triangle, and then another triangle, like an envelope. And then we're going to roll, and you can tuck at the same time. I always wondered how, before I learned how to do this, I always wondered how they get the egg roll so perfectly together. And then we want to seal it with more water. There we go. And now we're going to fold it. The next one. Remember to just make it looks like an envelope. Just make your triangle and just roll. Yeah, and our sauce is still cooking. You want to occasionally stir your sauce because you don't want the cheese to stick to the pan. So we want to make sure that we occasionally stir our sauce, okay? And our egg rolls are done. Now, a lot of people, there's different ways you can do the egg roll. You can make them in so many different ways, but I like doing the macaroni and cheese egg rolls. And I can't wait to get to our barbecue chicken egg rolls. All right, so they're ready to be fried. All right, so we're gonna put our egg rolls in. We wanna turn this. We don't wanna burn our egg rolls. We're gonna put them in a pan. So when I say you don't wanna burn the egg rolls, you don't want to have it on such a high heat, but we're gonna make sure that they're brown. And you just occasionally turn it over. And you can already see that it's starting to brown. This is great if you have a deep fryer, or even an air fryer is pretty good. You can do this in, but I prefer to do it with oil on the stove. And just occasionally turn it around. But let's let it brown. Look at our sauce. Cheese is melting. So good. So good. All right, so we're gonna let this cook and let it brown. Remember to occasionally turn it over. We don't want to have it burnt on one side and golden on the other, but evenly golden on each side. All right, so we took our egg rolls out. They finished frying, and look how pretty they are. They're nice and brown. And make sure when you take them out, you want to put a napkin there and let the grease, it takes the grease off of the egg rolls. And now we're going to check on our sauce, and it looks like it's done. Yummy. It's nice and thick the way that we want it. You want your sauce to be thick. You don't want like runny sauce. You want it to be thick. All right. So let's take the sauce over here to our egg rolls. And now you can just dribble it on there, or you can place it on there like I'm doing. You want to spread it over. The cheese that is inside is nice and melted. So you give this, it gives it a nice coating. You want to make sure that you have a coating on your egg rolls. All right, and don't worry about it dripping on the side. We want the cheese to drip on the side, right? All right. So we put the sauce over there, and now we want to take out parsley, and we're just going to make it look pretty. So there you have it. This is our mac and cheese egg rolls. Delicious. All right, so our chicken is done. It's nice and juicy. I have my gloves on now because we're gonna shred this baby up. And you can just get all in it. And it's nice and seasoned. And you see it's nice and juicy. Just going to shred it up as much as possible. And once we do that, we're going to put it in the pan. We're not going to fry it. Just kind of stir fry a little bit, but not too much. We're going to stir fry this, but not too much. I'm going to make sure we kind of mush this up as much as possible. All right, let's get it over here to our pan. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it in a pan. And we're just gonna kind of stir it around just for a little bit. We're gonna add in some more garlic. Remember I told you I love garlic. Can't have too much garlic. There's no such thing as too much garlic. Garlic is delicious. A little onion powder, a little bit more, just a little bit. Not too much. A little bit of pepper. And now what we're gonna do is we're going to add in some barbecue sauce. And just stir it around. Now I'm telling you, if you want to wow your guests, you have a party and you make this, I'm telling you this will be a hit. Just stir it around. And you just want to do a light coating of barbecue sauce. You don't want too much heavy. You don't want it heavy, but just enough that it coats the chicken. So when you bite into the egg roll, you'll taste the barbecue sauce. All right. So we're gonna let this simmer just a little bit. And while we're doing this, we're gonna go back over here to our egg rolls and start preparing to wrap our egg rolls. We're gonna turn it down just a little bit. All right, so now remember, we're gonna wet our egg rolls because they have to be easy for us to wrap. So let's just try to hurry up and do this. All right. And again, you can do, if you wanna put something extra into the egg rolls, you can. We're gonna be putting cheese, provolone cheese, and Monterey Jack cheese into the egg roll. And all right, just about done. All right, so we have our egg rolls nice and wet. Our chicken is done. And then we have our eggs here. Now let me tell you what we're gonna do with the eggs. We're going to dip, well, we're not actually dipping, but we're gonna put eggs on our egg rolls. All right, afterwards, you'll see what I'm gonna do. I'll explain it to you. All right, so we're filling our egg rolls with the chicken. And it's nice and moist. Again, you don't want to make sure, because you're working with chicken breast, and you know chicken breast, if you cook it too much, it has a tendency of drying out. We don't want our chicken to dry out. We want it to stay nice and juicy. All right, so we have our chicken on our egg rolls. And we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna put our cheese, provolone cheese and Monterey Jack in the egg roll. Now, if you're a real cheese fan, you can put as much cheese as you want. And there we go. Spread it all over. And now we're gonna fold. Triangle, triangle, triangle. Make it look like an envelope. And you tuck as you go. And we're gonna just fold them all up like this. And there you have it. Now we're about to put our eggs on the egg rolls. And don't worry, you see this one is breaking up, but that's okay. It's not gonna hurt it. And then remember, we want to seal our egg rolls with water. Water is our friend. Okay. So now we're going to take our eggs and we're just going to base our egg rolls. Some people like to dip it. I prefer not to. I just like to base it, give it a light coating. I feel like it makes it eggy when you dip it in. You don't want that egg taste on it. All right. This one doesn't want to cooperate. All right. And the last one, we're going to coat it. And now we're going to bread it with flour after we finish doing this. All right, so we're going to take our egg rolls. Let's bring the flour over closer. And we're just going to roll it. And we're going to shake off the excess flour. And then we're going to place it in our oil. And just keep rolling. And this actually makes the crust more fluffy with the egg when you put the egg on the egg roll. And there we have it. And now we're going to just cook it until it's browned. All right, so our barbecue chicken egg rolls are done and they're nice and golden. We're going to take our barbecue sauce and we're just going to spread it all over. Not too much, we just want to give it a light coating. Turn it over. Give it a nice little coating on it. And there we go. And remember to have your napkin present so you can catch the grease. And there we go. Make sure that you completely cover each side. And now we're going to just put a little bit of cheese on top. And you can use whatever cheese you want. You can use provolone, you can use mozzarella cheese, any cheese that you want to use. I prefer provolone, it has a nice taste. Not too strong, but a nice kick. And then we're going to decorate it with a little parsley. And we're done. All right, so our peach cobbler is done and we have our golden crust. And so we're just gonna take it out and we're gonna plate it. You don't wanna plate it as soon as it comes out because it's still loose. You wanna give it some time to settle. So once you take it out, just let it settle. And then that way you'll be able to scoop it out and it looks so nice. But it's nice and buttery. There you have it. Thank you for joining me on today's episode, Carolynn's Kitchen. If you would like to follow us, please log on to our Instagram page, carolyns.kitchen. We're also on TikTok and we're also on Facebook. Until next time.